Yo, all right. So came here, trying to kind of get started on this. Basically, what I'm doing, I got this kind of bolted up. I'm marking that there to where basically this will be my side where I can cut. I'm marking this bell housing, so I'll cut there, and then put the other bell housing on the automatic, and then cut a little bit higher, and then I will shave down and get it to fit, nice and snug. So I got a lot of material. So it's basically trim that side, and then that one's gonna come up to about like right there, because I need the hole for the what's that thing called? The crank sensor. If not, maybe I might just grind out the crank sensor so I can kind of get more. I haven't done that yet. I mean, once I take that off and put the other one on, then I'll, kind of thing. So that's what's going to be next. So at least now I could put on the other bell housing, see where I need to cut that, and then take those two, moons and put them together. So, all right. So I got the automatic bell housing on, and I originally kind of marked that there on the other one, but I want to cut this actual bell housing here. So if I fit that other one, I got this nice rib to weld onto. And then I'm gonna redo this because originally I had marked it from like right here, but this is nothing supportive. I could just ground that out with the Dremel. It's aluminum too. And then also if I cut the other bell housing to like this thing, that gives me more meat on this bell housing. More meat on this bell housing to where it's only a little bit, and then I got more meat to weld on there, so I can make like a really tough bonding weld. So I'm gonna look about cutting right here, so I'm gonna mark that with red, and then come there, and then basically from this rib to this rib is going to be the original bell housing. I don't know, I gotta mark up, so at least this is where the homework kind of plays, and these are one of those things where unless you actually have the parts, you can't make it up. So that's what it is. And then when I do my cuts, kind of do a little bit more over, so I got more material to play with, because it's easier to take away material than add back, even though I got the weld. But if I already got a nice like solid cast, why fuck it up? But all right, so that's where we're at right now. All right, cool. So the marks from the automatic come here. I could cut there and then have this to weld onto that rib on the other side, and then this side do the same where that blue mark is, and the red, that's for that. And then I'll just Dremel that out. It's not supportive or anything, it's just for the crank sensor. So Dremel that baby out, and then do that, and then we'll see what's up. I'm kind of fearful about the sensor marks, not letting it crank over. So if that comes the case, then I might need to switch this to a crank trigger, which isn't that big of a deal. You should have some material to make a type of crank trigger, or kind of just do one to the front and then build a bracket to come out and read it. But we all got little shit. I'm over here looking at the extra camera, but that's what's up. So yeah, little I'm getting this. So now what I'm gonna do is take off the bell housing, and then kind of mark how far I want to go back to cut, because you kind of see right there I need to possibly do some maneuvering around, for the slave cylinder, because then the fork goes right here, so that's out of my thing. But yeah, so some shit. So I don't know how far back I'm gonna come out to cutting, but until I get it off and measure, then we'll see. But so far the plan looks like it's gonna work. All right, so I almost scrapped this damn design, only because I was like, man, this is a lot of fabrication. And I mean, really not a lot of fabrication. Basically, I was like, I'm gonna run into a problem with the starter and the slave cylinder and shit. But this doesn't bolt this is how the starter sits on the transmission. It comes from a bolt through there, but if we look from there to here, that same, I need this bolt hole for the slave cylinder plus this. So I'm shaking a little bit, but anyhow, so what I figure what I'll do is kind of come here, then cut around, and you know, kind of cut like, I don't know, basically do it to where then I still have this, and then come back and cut this. So it's probably gonna come, I think when I said I might go like 2.5 inches out or something. I can't remember, but anyways, this whole thing come out like 2.5 inches, cut like 2.5 inches, and oh sorry, 2.5 inches from the face to there, just go around, and then do the same thing here. And then when I come here, I want to kind of keep this and that, or maybe I might go to this line. Maybe that's why I did say 2.5, but anyways, come there, and then when I start coming here, come back up, and then leave this one coming in and come back, and then start cutting out for the hole for the starter, and then going straight back to there to this rib, and then come out. So that will be this is like the, you know, kind of the hardest part, but I want to keep the original location of the slave cylinder and that, and then so in a way it's gonna be, I guess, like a 3-piece. I was trying to make one whole piece, but I'm gonna basically cut out this section here, well, this section here, and then put that down there, and then I'm gonna lose one bolt hole, which is fine. That's nothing crazy, because it's even the bottom ones, and they're like little 12, but the big ones that matter are here. There's 8 of them. 8. Damn it, I'm trying to hold this. I got like a new phone, and I'm not want to drop it or scratch it. Anyways, I got, you know, 8 of that bad boys on top. That shit's overkill. That was like when I said if I can get like 5 on top or 6, I would have been good, but as you can see, none of those line up, and then as well as none of those. If one would have lined up there and one lined up there, I would have just did all those on top, and then I think this one looks like it might line up. This one doesn't, but I could have made like some adapter. But then I ran into the whole thing with the slave cylinder of what do you call it? Well, actually, no, I ran into an issue with the fucking starter, because on these motors they kind of had it like this off of this plate. And the other thing I did notice, sidetrack, is this is like 4-inch depth. This motor, the center pan, and it's actually got 4 whatever, but that mid pan, you see how it is? It's a 2-piece. But I thought it was, you know, similar to where I could lower the motor, but I mean, it's not. Maybe nah, it's not. But anyhow, this one's basically 3 pans: the upper pan, the middle pan, and then the actual lower pan. As well as on these original motors, it was just one whole midsection, and then, you know, this damn phone, I don't know why the fuck it keeps on stopping mid-recording. But anyways, this one bolts up to the, you know, bottom of the block, and then that's it. And then that one, this one, you know, basically has a middle pan or some shit, you know, upper, lower, and then the oil pan. It's crazy. But yeah, I think I'm getting, you know, more confident on where I need to cut. So this is the only part on the bottom piece that's kind of thing. Everything else is straightforward in terms of just coming out, you know, 2.5 inches to get it. So oh, and then also I may run into, well, I will run into an issue. Man, this thing, I need to figure out why the hell it keeps stopping, because it was doing that shit with me in my thing. But anyways, this bolt, it's just open hole that locks into there. So I figured in order to get me some width here, I could just cut out half of this, you know, just take that out half, and then just bolt it, you know, straight through there, because it's just a starter, you know, with the lock washer. Or what I think I may do is like, what do you call it? Oh, never mind, I don't want to do that, because I have to drill out these threads and then do some shit. But nah, I'll just like keep it like that. But if I do run into a clearance issue, I could do that, where I cut this out per se, to get this to clear, and then put a stud here with like some type of locking tab, and then drill this out and just put a nut on this side, similar to what I did when I modified the excessive kit. But I'm not trying to do that because I know I could, you know, just cut this off, get enough to, you know, get a hex, you know, a stud in there. But I don't know, we'll see once I get to that, how much space I have here, because you see how it I don't know if it might line up slightly or what, but we'll when we get to that point, that's an easy fix, because like I said, I could always just kind of lock some type of stud coming out and then put a nut on this side. But I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit more confident, but that's where it's at. We'll see. And it's funny because I'm like, I just started thinking, I was like, you know what, maybe fuck it, let me see about just getting a Z33 transmission and, you know, just putting it on with the internal slave. But then again, I was like, you know what, this is fun. Maybe, you know, I might use a little bit of electricity and gas to weld her up, but, you know, it's stuff to just experience, you know, just to fuck with it, just to do it. That's how, you know, the brain gets tinkering and whatnot. You start learning things, and maybe I might figure out a better way to do this in the process. But anyhow, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to, you know, get this going. But yeah, that right now is my only piece. Everything else is, you know, straightforward in terms of, you know, straight cut, and then just welding that on and getting that. So we'll see. All right, guys.